You're here now is that just last week or 2 weeks ago, I sent an email to the chief and said, we know the national situation. We've seen what's happened in Minneapolis, but also we know that ICE is here and they are taking people. They took some people in Montlake Terrace, they took some people in Edmonds, they took some people here in Linwood. And I wanted to get you all together as the the heart of Linwood to find out, first of all, are any of the members of your congregations being affected by this? And then second, I have real concerns about, how ICE functions. I think we all do. At the last business meeting of the council, I read the Fourth Amendment because, these warrants that ICE is using are not valid according to the Constitution. I mean, it goes back to way back in the British rule in the colonies. They were getting almost the same thing where, the customs officers for Britain, I'm sorry, I've got a history degree, so I'm getting some history lesson here. But anyway, they had these warrants and they would just go into houses and they would just start seizing things. And it just, here we are 250 years later and we're back at doing this. So my concern really is, so ICE is in operation. What the colonists didn't have at that time was social media. And what we are seeing on social media, Reddit was talking about how Linwood Police is working with ICE because we saw an ICE car in their parking lot. And it was like, man, we need to be able to tamp down some of the conversation, but also at the same time, I want to reach out to you all to find out, what do you see on, boots on the ground, basically? What is happening? Are your members of your congregation being affected by ICE? And what can we do? My concern is, if someone in Linwood is taken by ICE, I want to know who that person is and why. And it's really hard. I know the police have their limits, especially because of Keep Washington working. But also I know that there's groups out there. There's the rapid response teams that are out there. And I don't know if any of you are members of that. But just last night there was a political party group that was being trained by the rapid response team. So it's real out there. The thing is, ICE has changed tactics and they're doing like quick strikes rather than what we saw in Minneapolis, where people could gather around a house and basically, we know ICE does not de-escalate and things escalate, and I don't want that to happen here in Linwood. So, my goal today is to be able to let you know, we want to know, we're looking at social media, we're going to monitor that, but at the same time, if there are things happening that impact your people, we want to know about that. So I guess that's...
So just a point, drug smuggling and in cases of terrorism, where someone is here to cross borders, where that's a function of the investigation. Likely, we would not be calling them first. That'd probably be a DEA stop, like with our task force. If we had transnational drugs, if we had human trafficking going on, there'd be probably FBI involved in that first. It's just, Keep Washington Working actually have those carve-outs in there because there's a recognition of, it's so apparent that they would have to be involved in that because of how they cross the borders and the mechanisms by which you did it and how they maintain status here. But we have no interest in interacting with them or working with them.
Yeah, like what is going on in Minneapolis, like if there is an ICE operation,
Yeah.
and there's a rapid response team
Right.
impeding the operation, would the Linwood Police intervene or just let
So,
it go?
great question, and what I would tell you is we are going to go out and ensure scene safety, but we do not want to be involved in this. So we are about, so my oath is to supporting and defending the Constitution of the United States of America, the constitutional laws of the state of Washington, and the ordinances of the city of Linwood. We don't take sides. We go out there and we're there to make sure that nothing's happening. So if people's behavior was rising to, and this is where, for me, I would like to see the rhetoric come down a little bit, because I think empowering people to and delegitimizing all of their stuff, because some of these guys, they're still operating under congressional authority. I agree with the mayor on the Fourth Amendment violations are definitely something that need to be looked at, but This quickly turns on us, or as people decide, I don't really like this, and we're gonna delegitimize it. Now we come back to, well, I don't like how the police are doing this thing. Do we delegitimize that and now allow for intervention from community members? We have to be very careful of that. The arena, and these are discussions I have currently, of the arena of us intervening against ICE is just not something that we will do. You'll have a new chief before that happens. And that's consensus among chiefs right now, because that would be tantamount to an illegal order, a violation of federal crime. So we hope, because violence, we understand violence, we have to get trained on use of force, but there are a lot of things before that we'd like